My name is Kate Gray. I'm primarily a games writer. I work for a bunch of publications. I make games in my spare time sometimes. I think games can be a valuable learning tool, especially when it comes to empathy. Games are unique in terms of like a medium that you can watch because they are sort of interactive. So rather than just watching someone else do something like in a film, you're actually being that person. And so there are games that put you in the shoes of someone that you might not have thought about. So people who are from different backgrounds, people who are diverse in other ways than you, games that explore things like sexuality or like non-binary people, and I think it's really important that we have games like that because otherwise people wouldn't have any experience of seeing or being that kind of person. So I think that's really important. I think they can affect people in a negative way as well. Like obviously there's the issue of violence in games. I don't think games necessarily make people more violent. I think it's more that they normalize violence, and that's a problem in itself. They're not alone in that. Like, you know, films and TV are like way more violent than they used to be. But games will put you in the shoes of someone who's going to go and beat up a stranger for no reason. Like obviously GTA is a big thing in that. It gives you the tools to do things you wouldn't do in normal life. And I think personally I like the idea that it's a way of getting out something that you wouldn't be able to do in real life, and there is a lot of that in games as well. Again, with like being people that you wouldn't normally be in real life. That includes bad people, and I would rather people were doing that in games than real life, I guess. Not like specifically academic research, but I'm inspired by a lot of my friends who have some really specific ideas. Most of them are artists, so they come from this entirely different background of wanting to express themselves. And when I was growing up, games were about entertainment, and now games are about expression and lots of different things. So I watch a lot of people's talks, and I'm inspired by that. I have one friend called Paul, who is part of a French collective called Klondike, and he did a talk last year called Games as Conversational Spaces, and that's something that's really inspired my work at the moment, thinking about games as being a dialogue between you and the developer, or you and the game itself, and what that means and how that can be changed to make a different point. And he made a game that's very low on interaction, and that made me kind of realize that games sometimes could, rather than being like a two-way dialogue, can be a one-way dialogue where you're doing most of the talking and you can project your own feelings onto the game. And I think that's really interesting. It's not something I've seen a lot. I think it's emerging still. So, yeah.